Bad boy.
You've tuned in live to the Fly Sports and Entertainment Podcast in all the land. This is Stat Lines Matter. I am your host, as always, Mark Elliott Stewart. Here with my partner in crime, Rob. What's your middle name? Lamar?
Allison.
I like Lamar. Yeah. Robert Lamar Hunter.
Okay.
I just flipped. No. Robert Allison.
Robert Allison.
Spelled 2 L's or 1?
2 L's, yeah.
Robert Allison Hunter Jr. Yeah. And we were just actually talking before we started rolling about our Budweiser Superfest memories. You at Fulton County Stadium and me in Chicago at Soldier Field, and the artist. But I was literally saying that LL came on right before James Brown and absolutely killed it. Live band, he was crushing them like a jelly bean and all of that.
What a 1-2 punch to end the show. So like I was saying before, there was the 1-2 to end the show was for me was MC Hammer, and then it was Bobby Brown.
Right.
And like after Hammer, I was like, what's after that? You know, yeah. I knew Bobby was coming, but like, how you gonna top what I just saw? Like Hammer came out because they had the stadium all set up weird, like because it was a stadium, it was for Fulton County.
Yeah. Right.
And so the stadium was like in the middle of the field, and there was like some seats there, but there was some seats like it's just I don't know.
Oh, they played in the round?
It wasn't a round. No. That's like when the stadium rotates.
No. It's in the middle, and then there's people on all sides.
No. So there was a front. There was a front. Yeah. So he comes off the stage, runs all the way like to the first row of the regular, and just starts doing all this dancing and stuff.
Who?
And it was like
Hammer?
Hammer. And so the reason why I thought the stadium was gonna just crumble was because I was with some older dudes who they was following this girl around. I was like 9.
I was about to say, why are you always out? Where were your parents, bro? Because like this is a recurring theme. You was like, yo, I remember seeing Nat King Cole when he was playing. I was like, bruh, like.
I wish I would have seen
that.
Why
was you at Fulton County Stadium at 9
because
years
it was
old?
like it was a rap concert, and so
okay.
So these older dudes were going.
You have 4 kids. You have 3 kids. You have 3 boys. How many rap concerts they been to?
None.
Without you?
None.
Okay, I rest my case.
But that's the 80s. Like the 80s, like
no.
you was sitting in the front seat when you was like 7. Like your parents.
I mean, yeah, there's that.
With no seatbelt.
But I think there's some distance between that and Turn to Loose and Fulton County Stadium with 60,000 people.
My mom used to legit smoke in the car with me in the front seat. You know, it's the 80s. You know what I mean?
I still got more menthol smoke in my lungs.
Yeah, so it wasn't the same. So this girl, when Hammer comes out,
my mom used to send me in. As a child
my grandmother would send me
get cigarettes.
My grandmother would send me into the Salem Light.
More menthol.
Salem Light. I used to roll up in there,
and they were 85 cents.
I don't remember the price.
I remember when they went to I don't know what cigarettes are now, but when I used to go in and get them, they were 85 cents and 15 cents would come back, and then they went to 90, and then they went to $1. Then they went to $1.10, and after that, I just refused to buy that shit for my mom.
So okay, wait a minute. Were you conflicted the entire time?
No, because
at what moment did you go, this is the last pack?
No. It was once I just got older. And
this your last fix.
Because when I became the mule initially, running to get the cigarettes, me and my brothers, I don't even know if because we're from the 70s, so I don't even know if the real information about the dangers was even out in the initial rollout of the cigarette. But then when we got older and started going to school and getting the like public service announcements,
knowledge,
all of that, and the after school specials,
your Malcolm X,
you know what I mean? And then I was the kid to come home. I always bring home the conversation like, Mom, we learned in school today that smoking's bad for your lungs, and so based on that information, I'm no longer gonna get your cigarettes. Like I was that kid.
Based on the information,
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but prior to that, my biggest issue was always economic. Like I used to challenge my mom. I think I was like 6 or 7, and I would challenge my mom as to why we would go. She gonna be so mad because my mom watches the show. Why I would ask her, why do we come here every day or every other day to get cigarettes? I said, I think if we buy a carton, we can save a little bit of money. And I was like 7 years old going, when I looked at the cost per pack, it seems that there's a savings of about 93 cents if we get a carton, and you're going to come here anyway. And I didn't have any understanding as a kid how annoying that would be to a parent.
Right.
Because I did everything like that.
Hey,
I challenged everything.
That's pretty damn unique for you to be able to calculate the carton times, the times that, you buy them individually versus getting them in bulk.
Oh, listen, let me be clear. When it comes to functional out here every day in the world math, I'm like a genius.
Well, I'm looking at your frames. I told you the frames.
Yeah, but and nothing else. I'm an expert in like 2 things in this world and then an absolute idiot at everything else.
And the 2 things would be?
I give that functional day-to-day math.
Yeah.
And guiding careers.
Okay. All right.
I could say that.
Yeah,
but that's not a flex. That's just what I do.
Yeah, I mean, my grandmother would send me inside, and every now and then, just depending on who was at the front, they would look out, and she'd be like, she'd throw up the like, yo, they for me. And I'm like, yeah, you know I ain't.
Oh, no. In Illinois, they don't care. They, like the whole, like, how old you are to buy cigarettes, they didn't even care.
Well, I was like 7, though.
I used to run it when I was 7. They'd just be like, yeah, let
run
this
it.
kid likes to smoke.
Yeah, run like you in some Latin country somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, so the point being, I know we were talking about the Superfest, but it was like, I only went to one Superfest, and it was probably the worst.
I only went to one.
Like one. It was the coolest and the worst at the same time, because it was like, they would put on, like, anybody remember Superfest? They would put on 219 artists on one
at that point.
bill.
At that point, they artists.
Yeah, on one bill. Like, everybody that had a record out in the last 5 years got at least 5 minutes on the Superfest.
If you could make it to that venue, they put you on the bill.
100%. And then the thing is, the Superfest changed from city to city, because like different headliners,
who can make it? Yeah,
just based on if you can make it fit into your schedule.
Yeah, I saw Kid and Play, Karen White, Levert.
And the other thing is, they didn't care about like curating a vibe and an energy. Like, it would be like, it's Will Downing and Rob Bass and Easy Rock. You know what I mean? They didn't care.
Yeah, Easy Rock was second. Rob Bass and I actually saw them do It Takes Two live, and it was lit.
Rob Bass.
The sun was beaming though.
Yeah. You knew you wasn't hot if you was performing when the sun was all the way out. So this past weekend, before we get into the NBA conversation, I gotta bring up the fact that my fellow Chi-Town brother from back home, Mr. Juwan Howard, former Fab Five member and now new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, went full pimp mode and slapped the taste out of several people's mouth.
That's one way of putting it.
I'm just trying to figure out, because I've watched a lot of sports. So anyway, if you didn't know, let me reset.
Yeah, reset.
If you didn't know, Juwan Howard, who was on the Fab Five, Michigan royalty, went on, played long career in the NBA, coached in the NBA, and then got his first head coaching opportunity to coach his alma mater. So you're talking about a dream job. And my man risked it all, absolutely risked it all, by slapping one of the coaches after the game because they called, and it was a Bush League move, called a timeout. They had a
double digit lead, yeah.
And called a timeout supposedly to reset the 10 count, because they were concerned about getting a 10 count in a game that had been decided. Juwan took some sort of offense to it and decided that he was going to handle it.
So I saw it like completely different.
I mean, I would just say what happened. I don't know what did you see?
Well, when the game was over, Juwan Howard was walking to shake hands with the assistants. He didn't want to shake hands with Greg Gard. Obviously, if you look at the footage, he's trying to walk past him, and Coach Gard stops Juwan, impedes his progress. He grabs his arm for a split second. He grabs his arm and then proceeds to not let him pass. I mean, he was looking for a confrontation, and he got one. And I think that anytime you're trying to go one way and I grab you and then I intentionally step to the right, when you step to your left to impede your progress, you're gonna get whatever the confrontation you're seeking. The probability goes way up that you're gonna get that confrontation. And I think that, and then they proceeded to kind of touch each other back and forth in the chest, and that whole thing went on. But I think that I think that Juwan obviously took offense to the timeout. I mean, as most coaches would have.
Yeah.
And I think that he didn't want anything to do with the coach during the handshaking, because you could see he was not making eye contact with him. He was passing him, and Coach Gard grabbed his right arm, and then he proceeded to step to his right, to Juwan's left, as he tried to get around him. And then that's when the fracas started. And I think that part of it should be addressed, because if he never touches him, if he just lets him go on about his business, then I think that this never happens. I think Coach Gard was treating Juwan somewhat like one of his players. Like, you gonna listen to me? Like, and I think Juwan was like, I mean, because I don't think he grabs Coach Izzo like that, or Coach Boeheim, or any of those other coaches that way. And I think that he thought he was in some sort of authority over Juwan. Now, having said that part, Juwan, you're 6'11", you're black, and your name is Juwan. You can't even blink fast around them and think that that's going, you're going to be able to, you cannot do that. And so I think that, on one hand, Coach Gard, I think, needs to be held accountable for instigating, the fracas. But I also think that Juwan's got to be smarter in that space. And it was not a slap. It was more of a caress down the side. Because he started out with the high you get, but then in the middle he opened his hand up and just slightly moved it down the assistant's face.
You making it seem like he gently wiped the sweat off.
Hey, it could have been, it was similar, slightly harder than that, but there was no follow through. His hand went down. It went north and south. It did not go left to right like a normal slap.
Is this going to be like the Hail Mary thing?
In his hand, it went, yes.
It's going to be like that. You just went, we already got the footage.
It went like, remember how Prince was doing when he was going in on the stuff? It was very similar. It did not go, when you slap, you go from left to right if you're using your left hand. If you're using your right hand, you go right to left. Juwan went up and down. You can't
saying
slap.
He did not slap.
You cannot slap nobody going up and down.
Okay.
That's like,
so he did not slap.
That's a rub. Okay. So that's a rub. He
rubbed that man.
He rubbed his side of his head.
Suspended 5 games for rubbing that man.
And he
rubbed that man.
And the only reason I don't, he shouldn't have rubbed that man. He shouldn't. But so here's my problem with the suspension. And I guess you ruin the surprise. I guess I don't disagree with the suspension. I just think that Coach Gard, for basically now the key word nowadays you hear now is gaslighting. I don't necessarily think he gaslit, but I think he provoked and he instigated the confrontation that would have never happened and I watched the footage over and over and over again. And you see Juwan trying to pass him.
You saw him rub that man's face after
I saw the rub. I saw the rub.
Okay.
I saw the rub.
Now
and,
who's gaslighting?
Not me.
You're not gaslighting?
It's not this guy.
Okay.
I'm just simply saying you cannot slap going up and down, okay? You only can rub going up and down, okay? Up and down rub, left to right slap. Now, you can go right to left if you backhanded somebody, but he did not do that. And that's all I'm saying. And so I agree that he should have been suspended. I just think that Greg Gard shouldn't have got off so light.
I mean, I listen.
Greg Gard is the coach of Wisconsin. And so to draw the distinction, Juwan did not hit the head coach, which he probably should have. He hit an assistant. So it was 2 different, I guess, altercations per se, but the confrontation was really between the 2 head coaches.
Yeah.
I don't know how the assistant got hit. Like, he must have said something. They should let us hear the mics.
That's the one part that I will sort of come your way on is making sure, like, I'm curious as to what was said.
Yes.
Like, because I know when you get somebody to elevate, there usually is something that, like, makes you go. But with that said, there's literally nothing that happened in the game or that happened after the game that should have elevated Juwan Howard to that point. Particularly for a couple of reasons. What's at stake? You're the head coach of a major university. You have your leader, so you have to set an example. That can't get lost. You can't, it's not community league and it's not AAU and it's not, Pop Warner or whatever. And not that I condone it on that level, but you tend to see it with people who don't have anything on the line other than their kid winning and losing. And so, people get emotional about that. But and then you have millions of dollars at stake. He has, I would imagine, endorsement opportunities, all sorts of stuff. You don't jeopardize your money and your family's money by doing something like that. Well, you can't lose your cool. I don't care what literally don't care what the other guy said.
And particularly where he wasn't really defending himself. There was nothing. They weren't going to do anything to Juwan in that situation. No. But I do think on a lighter note, I think that there's some sort of black history being made. I mean, he'd be the first man to lay his hand on a white man while on the clock and not lose his job. So shout out to Juwan Howard for that bit of black history. You made black history in Black History Month. So that's a good thing. We're looking for
You looking for a bright spot?
Hey, honestly, when I seen that 5-game suspension, I was like, okay, all right. I mean, I was just annoyed that the coach of guard, didn't get anything. But I'm happy that he didn't. I think
he would. I would say this
because the way Stephen A. was going on, it made me think like, is he gonna lose his job for real?
No, I thought he was gonna lose his job. But I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have been surprised if he did.
Man, but I just over the caress of the temple.
First of all, I disagree that it was a caress. Let's start with that.
Okay.
And then secondly, I think the intent had a lot to do with it. You can't put your hands on somebody. And I think what happened immediately when he elevated it to something physical, it was no longer ever going to be about what the coach did. Had he not done that, it'd have been a lot to said about, like, look how classless this coach was. Yeah. Look at what he did. That would have been the focus of the discussion.
Yeah, because the initial contact.
And now he's free to go with that.
Correct. And the initial contact was made by Coach Gard during the handshake.
But you're in the handshake, so him grabbing an arm or grabbing whatever, that doesn't rise to the level of I'm retaliating.
No, it doesn't. But what I'm saying is that you already knew. It ain't like y'all had like a good game and there was some mutual respect. You knew you pissed him off with that timeout. You knew you were.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
You were provoking and instigating, and then on the handshake, now all of a sudden you want to give him some more of the business, which he took exception to. And
but at that point, you can jaw. You are a grown man. You're not one of the kids in uniform. You have the right to say exactly what you want to say to that other coach, and they could have all the colorful language that you want.
Yeah, and no one would have said anything.
Yeah, nobody would have said anything because that's just in poor form.
Yeah, hey, Juwan, I'm just gonna hold you down.
I'm gonna hold you down too. Chi-town all day, but bro, you jeopardized the bag.
Is Juwan's from Chicago?
Absolutely,
it's lit.
Don't get it messed up.
Okay, that's lit.
Yeah, that's my guy. Okay, so we also. That wasn't even the biggest thing that happened the weekend. The biggest thing that happened the weekend is the NBA, through its annual extravaganza, celebrity, star-driven events that start Friday. You have Celebrity Game. You have the Futures Game or Challenge. I guess it's a challenge now. And then you have the NBA Saturday Night, which has always been the skills challenge, and then the 3-point shooting contest and the dunk contest. And then Sunday's the game. So you had a lot of stuff, a lot of big stars out. You have people converging on Cleveland.
Man, that's rough.
Somebody said, which athlete said during the live thing, they were doing, how they do a live interview, and they were like, yeah, let's be clear, Cleveland is nothing nice here. Like, they were dissing Cleveland in real time. Cleveland takes. I've never been to Cleveland. I got a couple Cleveland boys. Shout out to Ray Singer, my man from Cleveland, and I know some Cleveland folks. But man, Cleveland takes a bad rap. Is it that bad? Is Cleveland that bad?
Look. I was just thinking about this too. Preparing for this. I said, man, they had the hottest group they ever had. Rap group was Bone Thugs, and they looked homeless at their height. Like when they was at their hottest, they looked like they was like in a boys' home or something. Like they just didn't get adopted. Like they just passed that. When you get like 16, 17, you're not gonna get adopted. So they just look like they just.
You can't say okay. You're in a deep water here. First of all,
They looked
Let
homeless.
me be clear. I don't think those guys were homeless at all.
No, they
looked
weren't.
homeless.
I'm just saying they
looked like rappers look.
They embraced the depression and the downtrodden
in their music.
Yeah, and their aesthetic.
I don't know about that.
Like their hair was never ever freshly braided.
Their hair aside.
And I know that Eazy and Ruthless would have provided, hair and
we don't know what Ruthless did. You don't know Ruthless.
Hey, shout out to Ruthless. They cut me my first check with Forbidden.
And there you go. Ruthless record.
Yeah, Sony and John Atterbury. But anyway, point is, yes, so it was in Cleveland and it looked like it was a good weekend.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I think I said this on the last podcast. I think the NBA throws a great party. Everybody wants to be there. It's you have to, if you anybody celebrity wise, you're judged off of
where you
whether
at.
Or not you get one of those
you not here
courtside seats. And there's levels. There's like, okay, I had courtside to the celebrity game, and then it's like I had courtside to the Futures game, and then I was courtside for the Saturday night, which is now you starting to get into the real expensive, and now you like, do I have courtside for the Sunday? And if you got that, man, things are going well.
Yeah, your career
I saw Drewski out there. When you start getting the influencers sitting courtside, and they doing some numbers, they doing some real big things. But it was, I think overall, it was a good weekend with the exception of the dunk contest. I think, like, I have an interesting theory on why, because everybody consensus was like the dunk contest was trash. What was your take?
Well,
it was.
Well, no, I didn't even see it. So, and I haven't watched.
You had a date night?
Well, no, I haven't. I wish. I haven't watched.
What you doing on a Saturday night?
Saturday night, where was I at?
We trying to get some.
I'm always trying to get that goddamn humidity. Believe that. I stay trying to get that crock pot. Sorry. I mean, it don't take much to get me. You just mentioned the hot, humid hole, and I'm with it.
That's what's up. Let's run it. Run it up.
No, Saturday night.
Run it up.
Saturday night, I was at a basketball game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my son them, they had regions, so
okay.
I was there. But honestly, that ain't like I would have been in front of the TV watching the dunk contest. I haven't watched. Okay,
you watched a 3-point? You watched
full disclosure. I have not watched a dunk contest in full since Vince Carter.
Wow.
Yeah, since Vince Carter, and so to let you know how retro that is, me and Sam, we recorded it on VHS.
Wow. So you checked out of that. So it is clearly not the event for you that I just described to our listeners.
Well, no, you said it wasn't that great, and so
the dunk contest was trash. But I
saw poo-poo, it was Shaq. Shaq was like, it was horrible, and then
here's the thing, though.
But I do have an idea to make it better. I saw your quick hitter, and so I have something for that.
Okay, so we're gonna get to how do we make it better. But this is the one thing that I think is plaguing the dunk contest is that you have guys that are, and I would include us in that, sitting on their couch, telling these kids with this amazing, like, bounce. Like, I mean, everybody who was in the dunk contest probably had a 40-inch vert. The problem is everybody's trying to do the thing that's such a wild thing with all of the pressure and all of that going on, and it's very different than the stuff that people are putting online because they get endless amounts of takes, and what we see is the conversion of it. But when you got the crowd going crazy and it's like the clock's running and you're trying to do something that nobody's ever done before and you're missing, then they go, man, he whack, he this, that, he can't even dunk. Well, they could go do the dunks that Terrence Stansberry did years ago and that Dr. J did. If you want to go see those dunks, trust me, everybody in the dunk contest can do all the things that used to be. And Kenny Smith was up there like running his mouth. All them guys can do all the stuff that Kenny Smith used to do.
Yeah, that's right. I was about to say he was in the dunk contest.
Yeah,
if you can imagine.
Yeah, like he did the bounce it up between his legs and come and then dunk it over his head. All those dunks can be achieved with ease. Now, if you want those guys to do that so that they can make the dunks and you can be slightly more entertained, cool. But they're trying to push the envelope, and it really shows what, like, Zach LaVine and what's the other kid, Aaron Gordon, like how really good they were because they were doing some really advanced stuff and were converting on the first or second attempt.
That's one of the best ones ever.
That was one of the best ones. But I think it's unrealistic to think that, what these guys are attempting to do can be done that easily and on like that.
Yeah, my only response or rebuttal to that is you ain't rehearse. You know
I'm sure
what I'm
they did
saying?
rehearse, but it's different.
You ain't do that. They were.
But it's different
they were
when you got
missing.
16,000 people and you got all of these celebrities sitting courtside. You got all of these previous dunk champions.
So you better do something you can make.
But that's what I'm saying. But then if you do
it didn't look like they were getting close.
But if you do what Dwight Howard did,
yeah,
are they going to be impressed?
D Brown,
you know what I mean? Like
did the same thing.
That's all I'm saying. It's like
so
this is why dudes. This is why LeBron and John Morant and them were like, nah, I'm never doing it, because if you already got a stellar reputation, there's really no reason for you to do it. The only reason to do it is if nobody knows you.
Yeah.
And then you make your name, because at the time, nobody was checking for Zach LaVine or Aaron Gordon, and they used that to make their name.
So why did it change, though? What do you think changed about it? I mean, before you would
the degree of difficulty.
No, what I'm saying is before you had dudes that was going to play in the game on Sunday, competing in the game, competing in the contest on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, we know the names, the Dr. J's, the Dominique, the Michael Jordan, Kobe. Like, these guys competed in the contest on Saturday and were all-stars on Sunday. When did it change? Or why do you think it changed? We kind of know when it changed.
Difficulty.
What I'm saying is, but it ain't like they can't do it. I mean, we seen LeBron, obviously what he tantalizes the crowd before games by putting on his own dunk contest, right in the layup line. They're like, why doesn't he do that? I mean, obviously,
there's no game.
But I'm saying there used to be Dominique and Mike went at it three times?
Twice. Three times.
Three times. They went at it 3 times. Like Nick beat him one time.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I have no recollection.
Yeah, Dominique.
I have no recollection of that.
Dominique beat him one time, and
isn't Mike a 2-time dunk champion?
Yeah, Dominique beat him one time.
Has he competed more than those 2 times? He did.
Yeah,
he did.
So
fair enough.
So
we erased that from memory.
And then Chicago, and then obviously Mike won in Chicago, which is epic.
Won the year before.
So the question is, how come these guys? I mean, these guys were. I mean, Dominique was Michael Jordan was the scoring champion. I mean, these guys how come these guys aren't your Ja Morant's, for instance? How come these guys?
I think it's easy. It's nothing to gain. There's nothing to gain.
There was nothing to gain back then.
No, because in those days, your rep and Mike, and when you talk about those years, 87, 88.
87, 88.
Mike was still trying to prove himself to the league.
So you don't think Ja's trying to do that?
No, because I think people already going, because we live in it's a couple things. So now I'm going to get on my soapbox.
Yeah. I want to know you. I really want to know what you think.
We live in a 24-hour sports news cycle, right? So in order to keep everybody engaged, and we do the same thing, people come on and say outlandish shit in order to get people to engage with their content, right? So you get people to come on TV and go, is Ja Morant the number 1 point guard in the league already? And then if you get a debate going on that, and then that gets everybody going, and Ja's sitting at the crib doing whatever he's doing, drinking his protein shake, doing what athletes do.
Getting his hair plaited up.
Whatever. Yeah. And then going, I'm already in a discussion. So what does getting in the dunk contest
when you're already
in the discussion?
Okay.
You don't have anything to prove. And all you can do is hurt yourself if you lose to somebody they don't think you should lose to, or if you don't dunk as well as they think you should. That's why LeBron's never done it. LeBron don't really like the intense, action, where it's on the line. He don't really like that late game. That's what the dunk contest would be. You out here, you trying to dunk. If you don't win that, people like me will come on here and go, see, I told you. We gonna talk stuff. And he's very, very aware of that. And so he stays out.
So this became about LeBron not competing.
No, I'm saying he's one of you brought up the stars.
Yes.
LeBron's been the biggest star with dunking capabilities for the last 8, 9, 10 seasons.
Nobody else can.
No, I said. Did you hear what I said? Are
with
you listening?
Dunking capabilities.
I said he's the biggest star with dunking.
But there are other MVPs,
right?
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, Kevin Durant's not known as a dunker. He's not a leaper. He's tall already. I'm saying the guys that are considered dunkers.
Yeah.
He's the biggest star of all those guys, and he's staying away. Michael was it. Dominique was it. They went to the dunk contest.
Kenny Scott Walker.
I think these guys now don't go, and it's not just LeBron. Let me be clear on that. This is a lot of guys.
Okay, what do you think?
A lot of these guys don't go because there's nothing to.
What's your idea to make it better? Because I got one.
The one idea
one.
The one idea I was gonna have to make it more fan friendly, but I think it makes what we're saying even worse. Is that you take the amateur dunkers, you create a game between the amateur dunkers, the guys we see online, and you pit them against the NBA dunkers, and you go, we're gonna have you make it like an Olympic thing, right? You know how you have the team competition, and then you have the individual scores within the team competition. You have that we taking the amateurs versus the pros, and then have that would generate fan interest. If you had that, I think that's because there's a lot of dunkers who do an amazing job online that people want to see what they can do.
I think for me, that they should open it up to everybody. The 3-point competition, the dunk contest, and the NBA All-Star. You should still have to be voted. But I think cats should have to bring their own bread. So I think they should be betting. Like if you if you are in the dunk contest, I think you need to put your own 50,000 up and the winner take all. So if you feel like you can dunk, you got better dunks than what I have, then put your money up, and then you could talk smack to, let's see, if it's Donovan Mitchell, because a lot of these guys are still competitors at heart.
Yeah.
So if that way, I think you can get a couple of combatants who didn't necessarily think that they would compete. So let's say Devin Booker against Donovan, and come All-Star, you can settle it. And I think they should do that for the 3-point contest.
I think that makes more sense for the Although I don't think any of this will happen, but I think that makes more sense for the 3-point.
And then they got to bring their bread. They got to put it on the wood. They got to put it on the table right before they dunk. Right before. Yes.
Bet that jewelry.
We like life. You pulling out the watch.
Yeah. That's my daddy's watch.
My daddy's watch, the top shelf.
Don't you ever say watch.
Yeah, you come up there with your duffel bag. Yeah. You put down your 50,000.
Listen, I think the wagering aspect, although I think very improbable, makes more sense for the 3-point contest, because I think at that point, it's not just who's the pure shooter.
Whoever.
It's just who got it in them.
Whoever.
At that point,
yes,
LeBron will become a much better, and he's already a pretty decent 3-point shooter, but a competitive 3-point shooter if he knew something was on the line, because he's a competitor.
Well, and I think that's what I was saying.
But the dunk contest, it still has to do with your ability.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
But some of these guys, I think, you might be able to get some smack talk during the season. Maybe you get Ja going against Donovan Mitchell, which I think will be a fantastic dunk contest. Yeah. And get other guys maybe some lesser known guys. Okay, let me put my bread in too. And the next thing you know, before they dunk, they just going to put their money down in front of.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm not pressed about the dunk contest, only because I just think that.
But I would be interested if I knew they was putting their money down, and they was I'm like, what?
No, something like that.
Turning it on.
Because I think the difference between what would generate fan interest and then what would entice the players is two different things. Yeah.
But I think when you have, these guys, your Durant's, CP3, of course, he's not a dunker, but I'm talking about the pedigree of a lot of these guys. It's very competitive.
Yeah.
When you start talking about putting money down, bragging rights, I think that because these guys make so much money in other ways that I think that a lot of times the competition, at least in the NBA, but when you start talking about when a guy comes to you directly and be like, I'm this over you, a lot of times that could bring out a different level of competitiveness that we were used to seeing back in the 70s and 80s.
I would love to even see some one-on-ones for money, like some one-on-one games.
That would be lit. And put your bread down. 100 grand. Up. Put your own bread down.
And I would say too, getting kind of
like a Kareem going against Dr. J.
That was weird though. That was weird. He's just.
Hey, and Kareem Dr. J
had no shot. He was like. Well, that was weird.
That's why it's position based, man. That's why now you play the 5.
But I would say now that would be totally different now. Because I think,
in what way?
I think Dr. J, because of the way the game was played,
he looked disheveled.
He looked like the size that Kareem was throwing at him was just unmanageable. But I think if you took took Embiid, who's I actually have active big man, and you put him on a DeRozan, in a 1-on-1 scenario, it'd just be about who missed.
But you think I don't think Embiid can guard Trey.
No.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
I don't think Embiid. I think Embiid can theoretically stay in front of people, but smaller players with handles,
Yeah.
he wouldn't be able to stop him from scoring.
Yeah, or Kyrie.
Yeah,
but
but
wouldn't it be awesome to see Kyrie and Curry go at it?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
For like $1 million.
Yeah, and see,
for their own bread.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody gonna do that. But
that would be lit.
That would be lit. But I also think that element in the All-Star game, when they're breaking it down by quarters, I actually really love that, where they're breaking it down by quarters, and then the winner of that quarter gets the money for the poor kids that are sitting in the stands,
really
with something because the kids are sitting in the stands. Like, yo, we about to get some tuition, or we about to get some Burger King. I don't even know what they be playing for, but the kids be sitting there looking stressed. They be stressed. They be like, yo, are we gonna get
tuition?
Are we gonna get this Panera bread?
To a Whopper.
They're playing for something. I don't know, because a lot of times you don't know what the cause is.
Oh my gosh! But they playing for burgers, man.
I'm saying some kids just might be hungry.
Tuition.
Like it might be like an after school eating program.
Because we don't normally eat.
But they like, man, y'all got to win this.
Come on. and the other group is hungry
trying to go to college.
They hungry and we hungry. And if you lose.
And they there. So you're playing in front of these kids that's got something on the line. That's what added, at least, if nothing else, to the end of the quarter.
The team LeBron lose that quarter and be like, I guess y'all ain't going to eat after school for the rest of the whole year.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be insensitive.
What in the hell?
And then I actually like
that. I would watch though if that was.
Then I like at the end of the game where I don't even know what does anybody know what that calculation is where they go?
No,
I don't. They figure out, all right, based upon what's what, this is what we're going to, and that was 163. And then it was like then it became like a game like at the LA Fitness or wherever. I didn't know. We're going to 163.
Well, when I was watching the highlights, I was like, why is that the game winning shot? They was up by 1. I didn't understand it. And
they was going to 163.
My son's trainer explained it to me, I guess, and I was like, okay, then I guess.
But that's when you go play a pickup game.
Weird.
It's not. There's nothing weird about it. When you go play a pickup game,
you play the 24.
You play the something.
You
played 11 by 1.
So wait a minute.
24.
So were they time? Because when you play a pickup game, there's no clock off.
They took the clock off in the fourth quarter.
I gotta watch this.
No, it's actually kind of lit. So they play with a clock for 3 quarters, and then when they get to the fourth quarter, they go, okay, by our calculation, should be the final score. So if you're down, you got to make up but we going to 163. That's what they landed on.
Man, what the hell?
We're going to 163.
So what happened to just cut the clock on? And y'all 4 quarters, and they really, I mean, okay, but yeah. So anyway, so when I was watching that highlight, and I didn't find out till Monday why that shot mattered. I couldn't. I was like, if you up by 1, right? And I kept looking for the clock when he was backing down.
Yeah, no, there's no clock. There's no clock. It was just a shot clock.
He hit the shot. And
shot clock, but not the game clock.
I was like, 163 and it's over.
Well, leading up to that, they had a 5 or 6 point lead, and then Kevin's team, Durant's team, came down, and then they hit. I think Levine. Did Levine hit a 3? I forget who was on each team because it wasn't East West. And then they pulled.
They need to go back to that.
Then they pulled it to. Each team was like on the game winner, so it was like 163 to 162.
Right, because they could have hit a 3. They could have hit a 3 right. And won it. And
I thought it was dope that LeBron cleared everybody out, took the shot. I was rooting for him to miss. I'm not gonna lie, but he made it, and I was like, that was cool because it's for his home crowd.
The same crowd that burned his jersey.
As they should. As they should. If Michael Jordan would have left us in his prime to go play for the Pistons, man,
but
on site.
But he didn't leave to go play
on site
for the Pistons or rival. He went okay, at what point does a person from Cleveland have any room to begrudge anyone leaving Cleveland to go to Miami for an increase in salary? Yeah, I mean, like if you're in Cleveland, if you're in Cleveland and you working at, I don't know, you working at the QT in Cleveland, and you can go to Miami, work at the QT, and make an extra $2 an hour. You ain't leaving? I mean, that's essentially what happened. He left his working conditions.
Why would a fan care
Cleveland
about that?
Because he left. What man working in Cleveland wouldn't go to Miami for an increase in pay, and it's for the same gig? He left Cleveland to move to Miami. First off, even if you took a decrease in pay, That's an upgrade.
Are you are you removing what fandom really means?
Yeah, well, a little bit. Because every fan, are you mad because you stuck in Cleveland?
So
he leaving for Miami?
Are you responding, like, because this sounds like a deeper issue. Do you have abandonment issues from your players leaving, like Dion and guys leaving here? Like, is this what this is about?
No. I'm simply saying.
Because you've been left.
I've been left.
You've been left by some players.
Well, yeah, but okay, so when Dominique got traded, so he didn't leave, and then the Falcons didn't elect to resign Dion, which was like really, it hurts to this day. But I mean, I still love Dion.
How do you think in a situation where
you
have the chosen one who's from, as he always puts, 25 minutes down the road
from Akron, yeah,
this is a hometown hero. Why would you think they would react any differently?
I just think it's absurd. I mean, he played there for 7 daggum years. What, he's supposed to just die there? Like, he can't. Well, I mean, I don't want to say he came back because at the time they didn't know he was coming back. None of us
They didn't know he was coming back, and they didn't know he was going to win.
I'm just simply saying
they felt abandoned.
One of your fellow Clevelanders moved to Miami and got a pay increase, and you was upset.
You keep
completely ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure Cleveland could have paid him more. Let's start with that. Because they had his bird rights. Let's start with that. So Cleveland could have paid him more and would have paid him more. It wasn't like Cleveland was trying to go, hey, man, just take the hometown discount. They were trying to give him everything they needed to give him to stay. He left for less money. He left his hometown. I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on this one.
And that's fine. I'm just simply saying, hey, I talked to my buddy from Cleveland about this, and he was like, I'm never going back to Cleveland either.
Your buddy wasn't LeBron James.
No.
Your buddy's not LeBron James.
He's not LeBron.
So, yeah, if you're working at Ford in Cleveland, yeah, go ahead, leave.
Work at Ford in Miami.
Right.
That's lit.
Yeah, but when you have an NBA job.
I would rather play basketball in Miami than play basketball in Cleveland.
Who wouldn't? But if you were born and raised in Cleveland, you're removing that fact.
It's ridiculous.
That he's in his hometown. And he went back. Okay, so by that thinking. You can't affect
where you was born. People in Cleveland, you can leave. Especially if you black.
So by that thinking, you always bring up, do black people have a tougher time? Your family's from Cleveland. Do black people have a tougher time in Cleveland than any other part of the country? I don't get it.
It's a place that you got to get.
Like, I know that sometimes we ask people to leave Mississippi, but that's well documented. Why we ask people to leave Mississippi?
Okay, first of all.
If not Cleveland, where do you think black people should go where they quote unquote have it better?
First off, black people have it tough literally in every city in America.
That's the point I was making.
From Augusta, Georgia, to Atlanta, Georgia, to Albany, New York. That
was kind of the point I was making.
To Albany, Georgia. But at least if you're going to have a tough time, have it in a nice atmosphere in Miami.
No, I get it. But
it's a multicultural city. It's a multicultural city.
It's a Republican state.
It is
tax-free.
Well, yeah, it is tax-free.
It is tax-free.
And it's only Republican state because of the mischievousness of the state legislature that makes it that way. Shout out Governor DeSantis. But
we are way up here on this one.
But I'm just saying that you should, if you can.
So by your thinking, why did LeBron come back? Why would anybody who was in Miami go back to Cleveland?
Because he went there, did his thing, and I do feel like, and I think no one in their right mind would agree with the way that he left. I think if he was going to leave, and I think he's come out and said as much, and his team has, that the announcement was in poor taste, and I feel like he owed the people, not obviously the owner, better than that, and so that just speaks to probably more of his sense of community. To Akron and then the state of Ohio. He always, he lives obviously still in Akron, has a school there. So I think he feels a sense of
I think you be wanting to enroll in that school. Like, you be wanting to go back to the school. You be hype about that school.
Not in Akron.
Anytime you bring that school up, you just get tear up a little bit. I think you want to be one of his promised kids.
Look.
LeBron, can I be one of your promised kids?
No. LeBron been having promised kids
from your pantry.
He been having promised kids way before that school. J.R. Smith is a promised kid. Tyrone Lue is a promised kid. He blessed it. Mo Williams is a promised kid. He gets them paid. He gets them a better way of life. Tristan Thompson is a promised kid.
What's that? Deladona? What's his name?
Matthew Dellavedova.
Promised
kid.
Yeah, that's definitely like I'm talking about. Like you saying the kids he carried a little bit. I'm talking about the guys, him and his representatives got paid. I think or helped them get paid.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like J.R. Smith, J.R. Smith is legit the first graduate of the Promise Kid program. He got a ring. He helped him get a ring in Cleveland. Nobody was trying to sign him to a roster when he brought him to L.A. He got him another ring in L.A. Like I think J.R. Smith, it need to be some sort of like he need to like go out and speak on behalf of the school or something.
On the benefits of the school.
Yeah, because he's the first alumni.
There is some discussion. Michael Wilbon, shout out to Michael Wilbon, Chi-Town in the building again. Hey, I'm always shouting my Chicago people all the time. Michael Wilbon was the first person I heard say this about a possible return, and then the conversation sort of built momentum to the point where LeBron was asked about it, and he said he wouldn't close the door on the idea of going back to Cleveland for the purposes of playing with his son. I have to be honest. I don't know what to make of any of that.
I mean,
I don't know because you got to unpack it like this. Like going back to Cleveland. Okay, like I think Cleveland's got something good going, and if I would say this, if I'm Cleveland, I'm going, look, LeBron, if you want to come back and play for the love of the city and the love of the game, and then maybe we'll draft your little son and all that, then come on for the low like league minimum. What I'm not going to do is let you do to this young core what you did to the Lakers young core, and you come here and I send all my good young players to the Lakers to have you. I'm good on that.
Well, I don't think he would go to Cleveland under those circumstances.
If they drafted his son and said, hey, you'll be a starter no matter what type of prospect you are. Because like when you say I want to play with my son, you're basically saying I want to use all my weight and all my power to get my son in the league.
It's just not what happened.
That is but I'm saying that's what you're saying because
you're extrapolating.
No, I'm extrapolating something very simple.
Holy smokes!
The team that drafts Bronny James is going to get LeBron James to come out and wave to the crowd,
and that's lit
41 times a year.
And that's lit. You act like and having LeBron on your team is a bad thing.
No, I'm saying a 39 or 40-year-old LeBron.
We don't know what that. We thought 37-year-old LeBron was going to look a different way.
It does look a different way. He 3 games under 500 at the break.
Yeah, and he's putting up massive numbers. What are you talking about?
And the massive numbers are leading to what?
What? That ain't got nothing to do with it. He's still playing at an all-time high. He's still playing at an all-time high. So getting his 29 points a game, getting his 8 rebounds, 8 assists, exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
What does it mean if you're not winning?
What does it mean if you're not winning?
What does it mean if you're not winning?
Okay. So time out. You're not taking that. You're not taking that on your team. No, you're not taking that on your team.
If I'm adding 29,
you're not taking that on your team. 29, 8, and 8. You're not taking that.
29, 8, and 8 to a winning team.
No. A player who's bringing that. You're not taking that.
Can I answer it? Can I answer the question?
No.
Okay, then let's move on.
Go ahead.
No, you said no. You said I couldn't answer. No, you said I couldn't answer. That's it. No, it's really simple. Am I building a team with like the Lakers did around a 37-year-old LeBron James with 29, 8, and 8?
They just won a title when he got there.
Can I answer the question or no?
So you wouldn't do that.
Okay, so I'm not answering the question. You going to filibuster me?
Hey, ain't they trying to get that past the filibuster?
No, they're not doing anything with the filibuster.
Do something with the filibuster, man.
Can I finish answering the question? Because you asked the question, I'm answering it. If you're asking me to build a team around a 37-year-old LeBron with a gimpy knee, 29, 8, and 8, I pass.
But they wouldn't be building, right?
Pass.
They wouldn't be building, right? They got.
Not if they trade all the assets.
But why would they need to trade him? I mean, he'll be a free agent by the time
That's what I'm saying. But they're signing trades, all that. I'm saying if he comes to play for a reasonable amount of money that I can put around Darius Garland and all those guys, and LeBron shepherd these young players into a championship, absolutely, I would do that in 2 seconds. But what happened with the Lakers, where all the young talent leaves because I'm building around him. Absolutely not.
But that's not kind of what happened, right? All that young talent left because they were trying to get AD.
Not just that. Like LeBron moved some of that talent.
Yeah, but those guys were there when LeBron got there.
Yeah,
and they moved those guys to get AD.
That's my point. By building around LeBron, They gave up on a lot. They had a lot of young. They had many years.
And they won a championship.
They had many years where they were in the lottery.
Okay.
And they got guys like Lonzo. They got guys like Randall. They got guys like Ingram. You know, and the list goes on and on. Kuzma, guys. Some of the guys you like, some of the guys you don't like as much. But they had
I actually like all those guys.
They had good young players that are now contributing for other teams.
And I like Caruso. I liked all those guys.
Yeah,
I like literally all those guys.
Through LeBron's sort of maneuvering and Svengali-ing,
they won a championship.
They removed all the young talent and killed the future and won a protracted bubble.
What do you think of what is the future, right?
The future is AD.
But
his
they won
knees and ankles.
The future is trying to win the title. They did that. It's a success. They won an AAU championship. They won the championship. They won the
AAU championship.
They won the championship.
All the games played in one gym. Anyways, let's move on. We're going to talk about that some other time. Lastly, before we get out of here, I do want to discuss
this guy.
I would like to discuss the fact that, and it's kind of revisiting a topic that we had on here with Brian Flores, who, as you know, sued the NFL for racial discrimination. I think added a fourth team by name to his lawsuit. And since all that's going, obviously that has not been completely litigated yet. He has gotten a job, which was somewhat in question about whether or not he would ever coach in the league again. And maybe a head coach, you know, maybe people were just making a distinction about head coaching, but he did get a job, I believe, as assistant head coach, special advisor. It seemed like a special title with Mike Tomlin, the league's only, well, now there's two black coaches, three. Oh, because the guy, what's the man that looked like, what's the guy who had the Suicide song on Def Jam? The guy who looked like him?
No. You beautiful girl.
Logic. The Dolphins hired Logic to be their coach. Anyway, so
that's funny because I'm thinking about the song by the dude Sean Kingston.
Oh, okay.
So that's another Suicide song.
Oh, that is, yeah.
And then Logic, of course.
That was the happiest.
That was a happy suicide song
for a guy who's ready to give it all up.
Yeah, you're like, how do you? And then. So is that a good thing?
No, that was all bad. That was a hit, but not one you want to hear much.
You don't hear it that much no more.
Nah. Anyways, Flores got a job.
Sean Kingston still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Alive and well.
Good. Praise the Lord. Maybe he made it. Maybe that was therapy.
Sean Kingston was signed to Epic when I was running the A&R department.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I met with him and his people a couple times. We had a hit with him.
Really?
We had a hit with
with him
Chris Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I was gonna say Jeremiah, but it was.
It was Chris.
He may have done some stuff with. Anyway, point is, I'm glad he's still alive.
Yeah. No, you know why you said that? He was in a bad
motorcycle accident.
Jet ski.
Oh.
He was in a jet. it was serious too. So that's why you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because it wasn't like he died of old age. You made it seem like he was 77 years old. He's still young.
Yeah, shout out Sean Kingston.
Yeah, he was a young dude when he was getting it in. But anyways, Flores got this gig with Mike Tomlin, one of three black coaches remaining in the league.
So wait a minute, the Dolphins head coach is black?
Yeah. And you didn't see his press conference?
What did he say?
They were asking him about his ethnicity, and I don't want to misquote him, but he didn't do a good job with that. He was like, "Yeah, my dad's black, but I don't know. Like, I don't really look at it like that." Yeah,
he looked like he trying to suppress all of whatever little soul he got.
Anytime you black and you start telling a tale about, I don't see color and all that, then I'd be like, where you live at?
Because this dude right here look like he gonna tell on somebody. He been telling on people since he was in middle school. This is going to be a disaster.
You can't always go off of that.
This is going to be a disaster.
Because I tell on people.
I'm
a teller. I tell people all the time, don't do no crimes around me.
You're a teller?
I'm a teller. Don't do no crimes around me.
Hey, okay. If you are a teller, okay, that's fine. But you don't look.
I don't look like he looks like a teller.
Yeah, he looks like
he looks like he tells.
Don't tell him shit. Whatever you don't show him nothing.
Yeah.
Don't invite him to the.
Don't invite him to the guys'
Don't
night.
invite this dude to the spot.
Yeah,
you know.
you don't invite him to the guys' night
Because he look like he's sending the pictures.
Yeah,
while you there,
he's calling his wife on the way home, talking about, you won't believe the things that were going on this evening.
Oh my gosh, Rob took the thing off the girl's thing, and they went into the bathroom and they did this other thing, and I'm like, yo,
no, he's calling his wife as soon as he get in the car.
Yeah, so
he's one of the 3 black coaches. It's really 2 in a possible. So we got 2 in a possible black coaches.
All we asking the NFL to do is go board, man. Give us 4.
Yeah, at least give us 4. But Mike T and the Rooneys opened the door up to Brian Flores, and I think that's good. It's a story that we'll watch. I think we will see improvement in their defense because, say what you want, Flores' defense is performed. I don't think he has the DC job, but how long will it be before Mike T goes, those are your guys?
Unless somehow he gets a job next year. I was very surprised to see that hiring. I was happy to see it, but it falls in line with, the Rooneys always being progressive.
You gotta love the Rooneys.
And then obviously Mike T shows his sense of just awareness and who and what he is as far as his fiber is concerned, moral fiber is concerned. I just thought it was fantastic. And well, in this, I was waiting to see if there was some sort of concession made on his lawsuit, and there wasn't. So I was very relieved to.
Oh no, the lawsuit's going down.
Yeah, it is going down. Now since that time, it's come out that Stephen Ross wanted him to sign the non-disparagement agreement.
Yeah.
In order for him to, and I guess I didn't know this. This is something that's normally signed by a lot of coaches when they get fired in order to receive the rest of their money. Because they're not guaranteed, but most, like 99% of the time, coaches get the rest of their money. But what we did not know is a contingent upon them signing this.
Yeah.
So he'll get his base, which was, $500,000, and he has, 2.5 in the form of, sign-on bonuses each year, which normally you get. So he left roughly $6 million at the table in order to pursue this lawsuit. And I just want to say that, boy, I hope you get whatever you gonna get, because I'm gonna let you know something. He could have bought my silence for much less.
Mine too.
I'm just being honest with you, fam. I ain't know you were giving up, them M's.
Yeah, listen, man. Well, he was giving them up, and he was giving up because it's not like he left with a bad record. I think.
No, it was the first, right? I think
it was 1 game under 500.
But their first back-to-back winning seasons in 18 years.
Yeah, like
that was before iPhone.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
We were still saying Macintosh.
And here's the thing about that.
Anything
I'm big on you are what your resume says you are, and that's a very telling point for him for his resume for other jobs. To say this guy turned
and in his case, I think, is it about winning or not?
Well, but I think that's what's going to be interesting when other jobs come up in the future. Will he be considered for those because his resume says he should? And I think that's been sort of like when we're discussing this. That was sort of the crux of it. Is there's a lot of really good black candidates who have really good resumes that are getting overlooked, and now I think there's and we'll get into this because we're running out of time on another podcast. But there's now. Like hatchet pieces going on Bieniemy and talking about tension between him and Mahomes and him changing the game plan and all that kind of stuff. But it's the kind of stuff that if you're ever trying to do anything where you're breaking barriers, it's the type of thing that you have to face. You have to face the criticism. You have to face a scrutiny, sometimes out and out lies said about you in order to get past that. And I think that's a hard thing for people in the mainstream to understand that's what minorities have to live with in order to advance to areas that they don't normally get to. So, and
you have to take on titans, like the struggle of our ethnic progress, black people's progress since the beginning has been fighting basically
the power.
Shout out Chuck D. Yeah. And did you see you didn't see Real Sports last night because we already talked about it. No. But they talked about Loretta Lynch being hired by the NFL.
Yeah.
To and
somebody told me about that.
So apparently though, this is a common move that when someone or the defending party is being accused of
sexism or something like that,
or racial discrimination, they go out and they get a black lawyer to defend.
But as I understand, she's excellent.
Well, yes, and so the idea is because Flores' lawyers know her, and they feel like it's a good thing because they feel like she is a problem solver. They have a lot of respect for her, but in the event that this does go to trial, which his attorneys believe, they don't want that because they have the evidence, they're ready to show it, and I believe this is what I think. I'm prognosticating. I don't think it ever sees the light of day.
I said that the day it was filed.
I think you did. I don't know if you said it on the show. Did you say it on the show? I
said it on the show. I said the first day. There's no way
because if it does,
NFL wants this going to trial.
But Ross loses his team. I think if this sees the light of day, Ross loses his team because they have. He said we have the emails, we have the text messages, and we're ready. He said if they want to do that, we're ready. And you don't throw that gavel down.
No. And all that's happening right now is they're trying to try this in the court of public opinion because that's and I'll say this and I'm not one of those people who try to be controversial, but I have to call this. I call it balls and strikes as they're thrown. It is easy always to try to crucify a black man in the court of public opinion. It's easy because white America buys into it immediately. So if you say Brian Flores had problems with his team and working with management, and then they cut to a picture of him looking very demonstrative and angry, they go, well, I get it. Yeah, look at him. It looks like he doesn't get along. Like it's very easy for them to travel that very short distance about particularly black men. So it happens. But listen, we're over. We'll talk about that at a later time. But Brian Flores is in with a
I was ready to get into this.
He's in with a
spent too long on the Bud Fest.
Probably a soft landing spot with Mike Tomlin. Look forward to seeing what they're doing. And if they add a quarterback, they're going to have a top flight defense and a good offense. They got good wide receivers. Get us a Matt Ryan over there.
If I was on that defense, like me at my age, in my 40s, I'd be ready to give him a couple good downs playing for Flores. And
you only in your 40s?
Do you know how motivated that defense is going to be with Brian Flores?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever you want me to do, coach.
So you're only in your 40s because weren't you alive when the Hindenburg went down? I remember when Hindenburg. I remember
going to the Cotton Club. I was at the Cotton Club and watching the Nielsen, not the McNichols brothers tap dance all up in there. Yeah. Nicholson brothers. The Nicholson brothers.
Anyways, as normal, man, we thank you guys for.
That was a hot time.
We blew the roof off the place. No, thank you.
Blew it off.
Thank you for checking in with us. If you are still listening at this point of the podcast, God bless you. We've definitely taken you on a journey today. We've started at the Superfest and ended up at the Cotton Club. So no other podcast is going to
take you there, boy.
No other podcast is going to do that for you. But please hit like, subscribe, and get the notifications. What getting the notifications does, it lets you know when we're doing our thing. And you want to know when we're doing our thing on YouTube. We're doing our thing on Fanbase all the time, live chats, live discussions where you become part of the conversation. And you can follow our content on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on TikTok. So we thank you for listening. We thank you for tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support, and we ask that you share what's going on over here with your friends who would dig this kind of stuff. So until our next podcast, I am Mark E. Stewart. This is my partner, Rob Hunter Jr., and this is Stat Lines Matter.
Bad boy. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face.